Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. I am your entry mode host, Mod Sani, and I'm joined by the ever wonderful Mod Arcane, Mod Kirby, and a very special guest in the form of Mod Grimoire. How is everyone doing? We will start with Arcane.
I'm doing pretty good. I was looking at like the Q&A sheet and where I prepare myself for all these questions, and then I saw that and I'm like, what have I been doing for the past 2 weeks? I don't even remember. But reading a lot of feedback on Raids rewards at least. That's been at least the last couple of days.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of the team that after the Summer Summit have been looking through everyone's comments and seeing what you've been said, because a lot of hype was had that stream. It was a good one. Kirby, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've finally got Soni's Nightmare Combat achievements over the line, so I'm finally done with that boss and I never have to look at it again. That's just how I feel. Like, as soon as you work on something for like long enough, you just don't want to look at it. Like, I'm not touching that boss for at least a year.
Alright, Kirby's never touching that project again. Okay, we heard it here first. And finally, Mod Grimoire, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, just enjoying my days working at Jagex.
Awesome stuff. We will get back to you shortly, but first we should go through the announcements, because I think everyone's sort of said their piece on what they've been up to. So first off, excited for Old School's next raid? Jump into one of our beta worlds and test out the rewards for Tombs of Amascut before its launch. Once you've tested them out, let us know what you think of the new equipment. You can get all the info with ! Game update. I can't stop seeing that gif of you, Arcane, now since you've done that out of the corner of my eye.
It's a good gif.
It's a great gif. Next, Deadman Reborn is nearly upon us. Since the Summer Summit announcement, we've gathered your questions and feedback, so go and check out the answers and changes in the revised blog with ! Deadman. And if you want to get excited for the rest of the upcoming content to Old School, then check out our Summer Summit, our answer to the lack of RuneFest. So you can catch up on all the keynotes and more, including that excellent video by Jimmy and friends with ! Summer Summit. And what better way to follow up the Summer Summit than with a juicy summer sale? You can enjoy all the forthcoming content we just announced by joining our Premier Club, on sale from the 16th of August. If you didn't know already, Premier Club offers our best value yearly membership package, giving you access to Deadman mode, leagues, Group Ironman, and more. You can purchase the Bumper Gold package until September the 14th, so grab it while you can when it starts next week. And finally, ! Prime. You can use that to get 7 days of membership when you link your Runescape and Prime Gaming accounts. This offer is active until August 24th, so don't miss out. And as always, if you have anything you'd like to ask the team or myself, then please at OldSchoolRS with your questions. So let's get into it. Mod Grimoire. Because we got the announcements out the way, we can properly introduce her. She is one of the new interns here at Jagex and has been working on a couple of different teams across the company, mainly focusing her efforts on Engine. Do you want to give a brief introduction to yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name's Amy and I'm new to RuneScape, so I don't play that many MMOs. I tend to play stuff like JRPGs and stuff, but since starting at Jagex, I've started looking into RuneScape and it's a really fun game.
Indeed, the reason why we're all here. Cool, so we're going to sort of jump into a couple of questions first, as is standard with any new JMods or guests on the stream. So, what is your history with RuneScape and Old School?
Don't really have a history, really. I started playing it when I got this job, so I just played around the Old School RuneScape and a bit of RuneScape 3 as well. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm still a noob, but I'm trying my best.
Awesome. Do you think it's something you're going to continue playing after your internship?
Totally. You know, RuneScape really reminds me of Club Penguin, and I used to play that as a kid, so, you know, it's pretty fun.
if the next DLC isn't Club Penguin Isle, I'm jumping ship.
Oh yeah, let's make a Club Penguin DLC.
Awesome. So what are you? Are you a normie, an Iron player, or another kind of player?
Oh, I'm totally a normie. Yeah, I'm new to MMOs, so all the UI and stuff, it really, really, really confused me when I first started. And I didn't grow up with the game, so I don't really know too much about how it works. But I've been having a lot of fun with some of the quests. I really like the stories in it because I'm a big fan of story games, so like Persona, Fire Emblem, Zelda, I'm big fans of those types of games, and Nier, like my mod name. So it's great to listen and play through the stories for the quests on Old School RuneScape, and I just really enjoy it.
Awesome, awesome. And I know you haven't had a lot of time with the games, but is there anything you would add if you could without a poll in Old School?
You know, something that I think would be really useful in Old School RuneScape is some sort of heat map on the map that you can toggle on and off, so you could see where the most players are. And I think that will really help in general with everyone if they want to just go to an area that's mostly populated so they can chat, or go to a quiet area to kill some cows or something.
Cool, cool. Is there anything you would remove? Maybe not, since it's not a lot, you've not spent a lot of time with it, but maybe something jump out to you, or?
Nothing that I can think of, because I haven't played too much of RuneScape, but
Just say rat catchers and move on.
yeah, I can't think of anything, I'm sorry.
Alright, we'll go with the default answer then from Kirby is rat catchers. Okay.
Alrighty, no problem.
Awesome. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've done with your time here?
So I've worked on various projects, and I've spent my last month working on Old School RuneScape on the engine team, so the Steam client. And I've just had some fun adding some little exciting things into the main menu that I can't really tell people about yet, but I'm sure it's going to make loads of people happy.
Awesome, awesome. And how would you describe your intern experience in 3 words?
Really great fun. I don't know how to... That's just out the top of my head, but I've had so much fun working here, and yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And what do you think the most interesting thing you found working for Jagex?
I mean, just the whole community experience and how the games industry works. So the difference between a game in pre-production and a live game, and sort of seeing behind the scenes of all of that. It's really great to chat to the community and sort of get to know people.
Awesome, awesome. Are there any challenges you found when you were doing your internship? Anything you fought really hard to overcome?
So I think that's learning 2 different code bases. So yeah, I've been in Old School for a month and other projects in the other 2 months, so I've had to adapt quite quickly to those, and that's been a great challenge. But it's also, it's fun and it's complicated, but I managed to learn the code bases, and yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And we won't grill you for too much longer, but the last question is, what do you think the best thing that's happened during your internship is?
There's 2, I could say. I spent a week working at the Jagex studio, just chatting to the really cool people here, spending some nights at the pub and just chilling. And I really enjoyed the time when me and a few colleagues were playing Among Us, and it the screen came on that either tells you whether you're a crew member or an imposter. And one of my colleagues wore glasses, and he looked away when that screen popped up. So I thought that was pretty sus. So I called him out on that, and it turned out he wasn't an imposter. So that kind of sucked, but yeah, that was fun. That was a great laugh.
Awesome. Good to hear. I'm glad you've enjoyed your time. There's not too much long to go, I think, with the rest of your internship, but we've thoroughly enjoyed having you and the other interns here. It's been great. Any final words?
Well, I do recommend this internship to anyone who feels like they want to work in a fun role. There is so many cool things at Jagex, and you'd learn so much working here. So if you're hesitant, just go for it. It's unreal how much you learn in something like this.
Yeah, if you're not sure, go for it. I think that's the perfect way to sum up anything.
Totally.
I think it's exactly the same for what I did with this role. Just went for it, you know. You got to. If you're not shooting those shots, you know if you're going to score.
Yeah, totally.
Right, so
that's how I got the job. So.
So we are not going to with the introduction to mod Grimoire done, which is very, very pleasant. Thank you very much. We're going to jump straight into the questions, and we're going to save the player created content until right at the end. So, you ready, guys? Ready for some questions?
Yes,
No.
I guess. Oh.
I had to. I'm sorry.
We've mainly pulled out some Tombs of Amascut stuff since the beta went live today, and the blog went live a couple of days before that. So we've been looking through socials and finding some questions for them. So, without further ado, we'll kick off with Rose Forburn, who says, does the wand reset its tick cycle when you interrupt attacking? Like, say, if you walk to a different tile or eat, would that reset for attack cycle?
No, it's purely based off time. I think it's 9 cycles off the top of my head right now. And if you don't attack with a wand for 9 cycles, then it forgets the previous sequence or whatever. So you can attack twice with the wand, and then maybe once with the sang, and then you can attack with the wand again and again, and it'll remember. So you can be a bit more flexible in how you use it.
Awesome. The next question is from OSRS. Would it be possible to make the tome, usable as a standalone item that only gives you the 5% damage bonus? This way, the tome will be useful even without an arcane.
So by tome, I assume they mean the ward. So it used to be it's comparable to the Siren's tome when that was off from Nightmare, in terms of it being a mage offhand. But now it's called the Ward of Elidness. You repair with an arcane sigil to become active, equipable, and you'll be able to gain all its benefits. So this question is basically asking, can it be a standalone item that you then combine with the arcane sigil to make it better? Maybe. I don't want to give it many big yeses or nos in this Q&A. I'll answer genuine questions of how things work. But in terms of can we change it in this way or this way? We've been taking a lot of feedback over the past couple of days, and we want to get it all together, consolidate it, get it all together as a team, and decide what we want to do with the rewards. I can mention general areas that we're looking at in terms of this feedback was very popular, and we're probably going to be doing something in this area. But as to what we do, I'm not really going to confirm anything here or there. But in terms of this question itself, so maybe we could make it so the ward is much worse stats, but you can equip it, but then you buff it with the arcane sigil and make it significantly better. I think it's fine as is, and it's fine to have it as an attachment. At the end of the day, both items are going to be really expensive, so I'm not worried about this situation where you get it as it's more of an Iron Man concern almost. If you can afford to buy this item, you're probably going to be able to afford to buy the sigil. At least that's the goal, right? So I'm not worried about it from the main perspective, but then there's the Iron Man perspective of oh yeah, I've got this really rare drop from TOA, and now I have to go get an arcane sigil to attach it to make it usable. That's also really cool, where it's now it's an even more epic item. If you do manage to get that item, it's proof that you've got an arcane sigil, which is a really long grind, and you've got this ward from TOA. isn't that just cool in itself? Like, I don't think individual drops always need to have a use by themselves. I think it's fine as it is, personally. But again, we'll be reviewing feedback and maybe we end up doing something. Ran over.
That's true. It was a good rant. It was a good rant. I liked it. Please keep sending in your feedback because we are going to continually go through them up until, I imagine, the release. So just keep it coming, please. We like to hear what you guys think. The next question was, what was the decision to introduce jewels or sockets similar to other games? Do you think it will help to stop power creep going forward?
Yeah, we already did this Nightmare Staff.
Yeah, so Nightmare Staff was almost the original, like, you have this base item and then you put these other items in it, right? And I think what we want to have here is much more powerful and unique effects, and also the ability to swap them out, like, mid-combat. So, like, Nightmare Staff, like, you've got to, like, right-click, unequip it, right-click, dismantle, and then you click on another orb, and blah, blah, blah. And it is kind of just a pain. But for this, what I'd really like is, like, say you've got the crystal in your inventory, you just click the crystal, and it'll, like, automatically do the swapping for you. So, like, mid-combat, you could click on this crystal in TOA and equip this to the socket, and then get all its benefits, and you could equip another crystal, and then blah, blah, keep going like that. I think it's just, like, it's an interesting way to mix it up with an individual weapon and new effects. And it seems like people think it's quite cool and different, so nice.
Awesome, good stuff. Next, we have RNG Legend 420. Great name. Is the name Lowlife set in stone? I think something like Berserker or Endurance is better.
I've seen this feedback a bit. Not a lot. I think Lowlife's fine, but it's not set in stone by any metric. Like, TOA is still quite a while off coming out. So if we think of a better name, sure.
I mean, I like Lowlife because it's very descriptive. How do you get Lowlife? You get your life low. Easy. Go next.
You got a point.
Not much explaining. Yeah, not much explaining behind that one. So yeah. The next question is from Hosidian. This all sounds really cool. One concern I have is that historically, the Kopesh, I hope I'm saying that right, wasn't really a stabbing weapon. I mean, you can stab it, obviously, but it evolved from axes, which was most often used for hacking and slashing. I get wanting a stab weapon to fill this niche. I just think a better candidate could be found.
So I'll give you an insight on, like, the design process here. I went away and made, like, a bunch of rewards, and one of them was, like, this new stab weapon that's slower with high accuracy, like a different damage curve, etc. Because I think a stab weapon, it doesn't creep on anything right now. Like, a 5-tick high accuracy stab weapon doesn't creep on any other existing weapons in the game, really. Since Rapier will still be good at low defense targets, this will be good at high defense targets, as well as the unique effects of the damage curve. Well, if you have it on Slash, or even Crush, it really creeps on, like, Inquisitor's Mace and Scythe and things like that. So that's why I thought it fit better as a stab weapon. And then later on, when we decided to do, like, the lore, like, what should this weapon actually be? What should it look like? And then you start looking at, like, Egyptian lore and all that stuff. Kopesh is, like, a really popular weapon. So we did, like, try to make it work and put it together, and we can, like, well, we'll make this Kopesh just, like, a bit more pointy than it is slashy, and we can redesign it and stuff like that. And there was some concept art in the blog. Clearly, people aren't overly convinced. So there is a very big chance we go away and we either really try and get some concept art to prove that we'll make this weapon, it fits, right? It makes sense. And we have put some lore on there, but again, it feels a bit forced. And we might just redesign it and pick a different kind of weapon. So it's still a stab weapon, but we just won't use a Kopesh, like, is what you all know about in terms of what they look like. So yeah, we'll evaluate this and see what we can do. Make it make a bit more sense.
Yeah, again, guys, this is the first proposal. I'm sure there will be some tweaks and changes coming at some point from, listening to your feedback and more testing. So, so all of this is not set in stone, remember? So yeah, please keep the feedback coming.
I think Chambers of Zurich, it took almost like a year for the rewards to go from, like, initial concepts to actually being pulled and presented to the players, like the final iteration. Like, there were so many iterations. Like, if you go on the Wikipedia, I think they still have a bunch of information. All of the old Chambers of Zurich drops, there were so many that were just scrapped or redesigned completely. Numbers changed here and there. And while we don't want a year iteration time on this, we still got a long time before TOA gets released, so there's plenty of time to get things right. We're not going to force rewards into the game if they're not great.
Yeah, well said, Arcane. The next one is more of a comment than a question, but I thought it might be worth getting your guys' input on it. Chiodos Bros, please do not introduce the Kapesh into the game without first fixing the Elder Maul. It needs some love too. I mean, if you're in the chat, if you've got ideas on what you'd like it fixed, that would be amazing. But what do you guys think?
Panic by Elder Maul.
I think a lot of suggestions were to do like, because it's been suggested before where Elder Maul has like a minimum hit. So if you pass accuracy and it's a high accuracy weapon already, then maybe it hits a 5 guaranteed. I'm fully up for buffing Elder Maul in some way in the future. I don't think we need to buff Elder Maul before we introduce this new melee weapon, currently the Kapesh. I don't think they're intertwined like that at all. I think what I would like to see in terms of a timeline is that we release the Kapesh and people like test it all and see how it fits into all the metas in the game and everything. This new damage curve, all its unique aspects, and then we're like, at that point, does the community still want it to have the minimum hit? Whilst the timeline for us further on than just like potentially a couple of months. I think that's the most sensible approach from my perspective, because there was a lot of hesitation around having a minimum hit. It's sort of scary, but I think it's interesting and worth trying out. And in the beta, it seems to be going okay.
Cool. Thank you. Kirby, any thoughts or?
Nothing I say different to Arcane. So they're the man who's good at ranting rant, and I'll just smile and nod.
Awesome. The next question is from Mammoth Jerk. Why does the Masori amulet boost mage, melee, and range stats? The Masori are specifically referred to as ranged users. It's good enough being the best in slot range amulet. It doesn't need the mage and melee accuracy and not the melee strength bonus.
Lore aside, the initial idea was to have this amulet that was a bit more of a hybrid amulet. It wouldn't fulfill the role perfectly, but you wouldn't feel completely gimped by trying to use a different style whilst having this equipped. I think putting it a 12 melee strength bonus, especially, as well as best in slot, is basically best in slot melee amulet. When a low life was a bit too much, like it didn't need to be better than Torture. It just needed to like compete with it. Looking at it, we're probably going to make a couple of changes to the amulet as is. Probably specifically about like, should it be just a range thing or should it be a hybrid thing? And really trying to figure out where it should sit. So yeah, we hear you.
Indeed, we do. The next question is from FTB Champ 321. With the new rewards, can you please increase the buy limit of soul runes 10k to match the buy limit of blood runes 25k? The new wand will use 3k souls runes an hour. Thank you.
Sure.
They seem like they're stable. I can't see a reason why increasing the buy limit would break that.
We did it to a bunch of stuff before.
Yeah, like if the need increases, it makes sense to let you have more of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine something like that will be done closer to the time of release rather than like now.
Panic buy soul runes.
Yeah, I mean now you could just start buying soul runes from like now until like Raids is released, and you're gonna have a lot of soul runes by the time it comes out. So you could just stock up, you know?
Yeah, proper think ahead. Preparation is key. The next question is from Boss High Scores. What is going to be the big chase item? Scythe and T-Bow are both big DPS upgrades. Will it be the new wand?
I do expect the wand to be the one, because currently the wand is around 10% more DPS than Sang. A bit worse DPS than Harm when not overloaded. But when you are overloaded, the wand is like slightly better than Harm. But Harm's got its whole usability problems in itself. So it is the biggest step up in itself. The armor is really, really good in terms of like its offensive capabilities. There's some questions about its defensive capabilities right now that we want to try and address. I think it'll be between like the offhand, so the mage offhand and the wand would be like the most desirable items, since they're just straight up DPS upgrades. The armor is a bit more situational. It's hard to say, really, at this point. But rarities are a big one, right? Like, if T-Bows is common as Arcane, it wouldn't be a chase item in a sense, because it'd be really cheap, but regular was sort of a chase item. It depends how you define chase item. Is chase item just based on price? Is it based on rarity? Is it just like, I want this item? Because whip's like a chase item then, if it's just I want the item. I'm going to stop talking.
Oh, please don't, Arcane. We've got plenty more questions to come. So awesome. All right, cool. The next question is from Xtrain1. Once the low life set effect is activated, have the Masori equipment glow a particular color. Would look awesome and would communicate to the player that effect is active.
We really want to do this, but it's engine work. It's really hard to do it right now. The only options we really have is when it like activates, you like flash, and then when it deactivates, maybe it flashes again. But then like if you're jumping between like 39 and 40 health constantly, you're gonna be like a disco light. So we don't really want to do that. We can't just have permanent glow on your character, unfortunately. Currently, the plan is to have your your health glow. So you've got your heart, and then like it goes like green if you're poisoned, it goes pink if you've got parasite in you, or whatever. Arcane breathe. The idea is to change that heart in some way. So imagine like it's a heart, maybe it's like pulsating more veiny, or it's got like lines or cracks through it or something. Like when you hit that 40% threshold, that visually changes. So that'd be really useful for you. Maybe not as useful for other players like in PvP and stuff. But you'll generally have a fairly good idea what health they're at anyway, roughly.
See, now I've heard disco lights. I just want a full team of just Panic at the Disco.
It would be a pretty interesting arm set if it just flashed constantly.
I like how you threw Engine under the bus as well. I came with the Engine intern here, just to make sure the message is heard.
How dare you?
There's so many veins in the chat. I'm sorry, chat.
The next question, moving swiftly on, the next question is from Saint Juniper 73 about the new wand. Heka of Tumenken? Is that how you pronounce it, Arcane? Tumenken? Cool, awesome.
Tumenken.
Typically, autocast weapons such as tridents and the Sanguius Nesty staff do not work in PvP. Will the wand be the same?
Yeah, the wand won't work in PvP. So it was something that I toyed with initially, and it's still technically an option, but the issue with making them work in PvP is that you can use like barrage as well as this like high DPS weapon, right? That's like the crux of it all. You want to have worse DPS if you're going to have the ability to freeze people. Theoretically, we could enable it and just make it do like less damage, right? Just like blowpipe attacks 3 ticks in PvP. We could make it so the ones maybe a tick slower or has like a worse damage scaling, whatever. We could have custom formulas if you really want, and you really want to have this. Because I think the weapon itself is actually a really cool idea for PvP. Like imagine you attack 3 times with the wand in PvP, and then you like AGS, and then you've got the big attack stored up from the wand, and then you can combo with the big wand attack. And that'd be insane burst damage, and a lot of flexibility in that. But again,
and then
it'd be OP.
You also have the mind games of then, am I going to use it? Am I going to hit you with another melee?
Exactly,
I might just pull out
it's a threat.
Yeah, it's like mind games. That's the best part.
They know it's there. But yeah, so if you guys really want that, we can investigate that, make the damage scaling so it's not like crazy OP. Maybe it's really heavily weighted towards the big hit, so then that gameplay is there. But then the regular hit's even weaker, or maybe slower, whatever. Whatever you guys really want. But as it is right now, as it's currently designed, it wouldn't work in PvP.
Awesome. The next question is from Son of a Milkman. Why the 82 attack requirement for the Kopesh? What's wrong with 80? So I saw the same with the why not round it to 85 instead of one of the other levels.
I think we're probably going to get these questions till the end of time, right? With the tier rebalancing that we proposed at the start of the year, we want to move a lot of things into like 82s, 83s, 85s. We want to use the entire like 1 to 100 scale in terms of flexibility. We don't want to be restricted to just 5s constantly. it's very restrictive. Like, if you have a weapon that's just not as good as a tier 85 weapon, but it's better than a tier 80, then surely it makes sense to use the rest of the numbers, right? Don't just plop it into 80 or 85. The only reason people are used to it is that it's kind of like, so many hundreds. Stop! You know what I meant? I don't know, maybe you have to be super attacked to use the weapon, who knows? But that'd be stupid. But yeah, we want to use the entire scale. It's just because we've not really done it a lot before that it feels weird, but we're hoping that it won't feel weird for very long. Because we still plan to do that tier rebalancing that we proposed at the start of the year. Probably with some changes to the initial proposal, but still generally bringing things in line to reflect their power.
I'll be back in a second.
Dog.
I thought I heard a doggo. Yeah, I thought I heard that somewhere. Cool. Well, we'll move on while while Kirby sorts out his dog. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Sorry
All
about
good?
that.
All good? Awesome. Okay. What will be done about the Harmo Staff with the new wand? It's still an 800 mil item that struggles to be useful when Sang has most of the DPS, healing, offhand, and spellbook flexibility.
The harm is in a rough place. I think that's very clear. This weapon, this new Hecker Tumikan, the powered wand, is creeping on harm even more than Sang does. Obviously, Sang still's got the healing. Just the initial design, or the current design, Harmonized Staff, kind of doesn't really work. It's cool in terms of what it does. Like, it's very unique. It can auto-cast stuff one tick faster. It gets rid of that delay. Like, it does what it does. It does what it says on the tin, right? It's just what it says on the tin is really inflexible. And that's causing a bunch of issues. I don't know where I actually sit. I've thought about loads of different avenues in terms of, like, what different additional effects could we have? Could we, like, fundamentally change the weapon? Is it just, like, could we just put a bunch of QOL on it in terms of just making it feel nicer, but even then it still loses its place? Or do we just leave it alone and just hope that content in the future comes out to fill it in? So, like, theoretically right now, we could just say, okay, it's fine, it's not going to be very good after this one comes out for a long period of time. But then in the future, new standard spells could come out, new offhands that buff it, new monsters could be introduced that have elemental weaknesses, and harm naturally just fits into that really well. Well, so that's going to be a long time coming, right? Where that's not going to be next month. It's probably not even going to be post TOA, although TOA might have elemental weaknesses. Who knows? But again, like it's not much of a concrete promise. There's things that we could do right now. Like one idea that I had is it could just have a lot of mage accuracy. Like imagine it had like 25% additional mage accuracy and like an extra like 10 to 15 flags. It's actually got really low mage accuracy right now. There isn't a lot of places where mage accuracy is actually relevant, but if you give it enough, theoretically, there might be some places that open up in the meta. Like maybe it actually starts becoming better than range or melee certain bosses if you gave it enough mage accuracy. But again, that's experimental and somewhat dangerous, but it's an option. Another idea I had was you could make it so it casts everything on the standard spellbook one tick faster, not just combat spells. So imagine your high alchemy is one tick faster, your super ore is one tick faster, your teleport to house is one tick faster. Like you could just do a bunch of stuff like that where it gives it these like weirdly niche uses, but it's actually really good at that. Again, it still wouldn't be as good as it is right now. Options, right? And I'm open to hearing more options. It's just weird. It's in a really weird space for the moment.
Yeah.
I'm down to save one tick on my herb runs.
I think we all would be. Is the dog okay, Kirby? I saw chat.
The dog's fine. He was just very angry at something.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe the fact he's not on stream, maybe that's what has annoyed him.
I mean, it was probably just something that was whatever. Dog is not friendly to other animals, is what I've found. He's great with humans, but as soon as there's another animal involved, he gets very loud very quickly.
Okay, good to know. We'll come off the raid questions for a bit. I know there's been a couple in chat which we've been gathering, so we'll come back to them. We'll just shift gears a little bit. This next question is from Anti-Common, Any thoughts on introducing new best in slot range gloves? Well, maybe this is not completely coming off topic because I've seen this quite a few times in the feedback. Barrow's gloves are a bit dated, although I guess there is always the possibility of it coming from other future content.
Yeah, I think not proposing them right now isn't us saying we don't want best assault range gloves. Like, when I was coming up with a list of rewards for TOA, there's like 50 things on there, and obviously range gloves are one of them. It's just kind of like what feels most appropriate from the raid, what's the current space, and like the armor set really stood out, like the Sorry armor set, and I was like, that's great. It's like, do we really want another range item on top of that? Not really. There was already quite a bit there, so different content at the end of the day.
We will get one eventually, probably, but just not
100%,
from Amascut.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like Arcane said, it's not that we don't want to do it or we never want to do it, it's just right now, it's, you know, there are other things we're looking into, so, you know. The next question is from A_QPW. Thoughts on a single tier achievement diary for free-to-play would help introduce what the diaries are to free-to-play players.
Don't
What do you mean by single tier?
I'm guessing he means the first lot in the areas that you can do it. So like the you know, the ones around Lumbridge and Draenor. And other areas like that. But I suppose that would all have to be, you know, dependent on if it's all free to play.
Yeah,
I don't know
sure
the
you need
achievement
to design
diaries.
a specific achievement diary specifically for free to play, because I'm fairly sure at least every tier needs something from members. So I'm fairly sure we have, like, isn't there like a beginner paths thing we added at some point that sort of fills that niche? Can't remember what state that's in.
Yeah. It's less of like a permanent account unlock, like an achievement diary is. Right?
That's also
you
true.
don't feel like progression. It's just a nice introduction to how the game works.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. I'd be interested like, imagine, like, if there are any, I can't actually recall off the top of my head, if there are things on diaries that could be done in free-to-play, just allowing them to be done in free-to-play, and then it's just like you'd naturally just complete a couple of them, and then you're kind of like, oh, I've got a couple of them, maybe I'd want to convert. Just kind of let people be aware of them at least.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, yeah, but again, getting it working, we'll probably need a bit of looking into, considering what we've got on there, you know, already. Cool. The next question is from Harvardor. Could you make clue nests from woodcutting get put in inventory to stay consistent with the other skilling clue drops?
We could. I don't know why we didn't. There was probably a reason. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't done like that in the first place.
Lore, you're chopping the tree and it falls out the tree, right?
Oh.
Why is it? It's not going to fall on your head into your backpack.
Oh, look, my backpack is open and look at it go in there. Oh my god.
Just catch it and chop the trees.
Yeah, I think because there are other things you can get from the nests, like, you know, you might not necessarily want, probably doesn't make sense to have all the nests go into there unless it's just the clue nests, but you know, it's like...
Woodcutting's already AFK enough. Stop asking for it.
Awesome. Okay, the next question is from Munted Days. How does the OSRS team work? Give us an insight into your day team and how decisions are made. So I thought I'd put this in there because we are looking, and I know we say this all the time, especially the last year, we are going to be bringing back the Gazette at some point. Okay, I've been tasked to work on it now, so you know it will be going ahead at some point. There was a suggestion made about some kind of guest article related to this. It's something I want to do, and I think it would be cool to give you guys an insight into, you know, how some of the teams work and stuff. So it's definitely something we're looking into. I couldn't give you it right now as a summary because we've got more questions to answer. So I'll leave it for then. So the next question is, Mr. Squishy, can the delay for cutting fish at aerial fishing please be removed?
Technically, yes.
I feel like
The best
most
answer.
questions are technically yes, is probably the...
I don't know enough to know how much this would affect it. I don't know if it's like an annoyance thing or if it's actually like prohibiting XP going too high. Because if it's like going to be all of a sudden 10% more XP because there's no delay, then that's quite a big thing to consider. But if it's just like really annoying, then you have to click more.
And the problem with niche content like this is we have a few people on the stream who don't know the content. We're sat there like, does this break it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we have to ask the people in the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not taken it on myself to do that grind yet. It's like getting pushed further and further back on my list at the moment. So one day I'll get there. But you know. The next question, another rune-related question: can cosmic runes stock be made 250 across the board like it is in more recent rune shops?
So, just assuming the wiki is correct, because that's my source of information for this. There are 3 shops that sell it. Ollie's in Alcarid has 10 stock. Major Arena has 20. Prif, which requires Song of the Elves, has the 250. Do Song of the Elves, you coward. Thank you, goodbye.
Yeah, I think this is very intentional. It's not like it's like 250, 200.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, why is it so inconsistent? I did 250 and 10, like 20. Like, it's very intentionally worse.
Yeah. Like, if it was closer, then I'd probably be like, yeah, sure, why not? But given there is, like, that much of a delta, then do Song of the Elves. It's a good quest. You won't regret it.
Yeah, indeed, you will not. I like how Kirby came to this stream and chose violence today.
I just permanently choose violence. It's a good option.
The next question, and I love this name, is Dee Dee and the Funky Bunch. Great name. Are there plans to make slower weapons like battle axes and longswords more viable? If slower weapons are viable, then slower tier 80 weapons could be made.
So, like, the problem with most slow weapons is that even if they have the same DPS, because your, like, average hit is higher, you just lose out so much DPS to overkill that it's just not going to be worth it. The way you get around that is by having special effects on your weapons. See Scythe of Vita. Is that Vita? I don't know how to pronounce it. So. Close enough. Either way, the way you get around it is by having special effects on your weapons. So we probably won't make axes and longswords viable themselves, but there are viable slow weapons out there.
It's a really weird one. Like, if we look at the Kopash, for example, like, the amount of strength that thing has on it to still be worse than Rapier on 0 defense target is, like, absurd. Like, it's got so much strength. And, like, if it's 6-tick, it would need even more strength. And then all of a sudden you're hitting, like, 60s and 70s, albeit really slowly and inconsistently. Which isn't great in itself. And then, like Kirby said, overkill DPS is a massive problem. It's really hard to make slow weapons viable. Faster is just generally always better in our game. That's why the Kopash is like, it's really accurate. Like, that's its thing. And like, it's got the different damage curve, which might be really useful depending on the content you're doing. But just to, like, make Elder Maul the same DPS as Bludgeon Nightmare, like, Elder Maul would have to hit so hard. And that's not really great.
Even then, you wouldn't want to use it most of the time, because if you're just using it as a clear weapon, you just lose out on so much DPS because you're rolling like 20 more than the actual hit points you need to deal. But anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Cool. Thank you, guys. I was gonna skip the next question because it's another aerial fishing question, and we've already displayed our knowledge of that content. So, Twitchy Gnome, can you change the Ogre Arrow Ward from the Kandarin Diary? They're not even useful for hunting chompies since brutal arrows exist.
It's a free daily reward. It's not meant to be amazing. I'm like, what else is on that diary, actually? I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you would change it.
To change it to.
Yeah, what would you change
probably
it
brutal
to?
arrows.
Do you want us to just remove it? Like, we can do that. We could just remove that reward, and that's it. That's the only change. That doesn't sound very positive. No.
Wait, isn't this the Western diary of the arrows?
Yeah, there's a couple of question marks in chat as well.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of question marks all around.
Instead of arrows, we get 500 blood runes. 500 blood runes a day. Sounds fair.
Iron Man has been sold.
Yeah, okay.
Ship it. Don't worry about it. We've solved it, guys. It's fine. Cool. The last sort of off-topic question that we'll go to before a couple more chat questions is: can the bank deposits box empty looting bag also work on the fish barrel?
No, the button quite clearly says looting bag. Thank you for coming to my TED talk. Do we do that for anything else? I don't know.
It'd be kind of cool to change it from
Would be
empty
nice.
looting bag to like empty container or something, if that makes sense. Like just replacing that. That'd be kind of cool, and then making it work with like everything, like herb sacks and all the other stuff that can store things. Like that'd be really nice.
It would be.
It would be really nice. Yeah, I agree. Okay, we've got a no name here, but why is the Keris pure friendly, but the upgrade is not?
Yeah, we've heard that feedback. We're probably going to make an aggressive option for the stab.
There you go. You heard it here first. Cool. The next question is specifically at you, Arcane. From Carcinogenic. Can you please ask Arcane what his chair is called? I need a new office chair.
I can't remember. I think it's like the Marcus or something from IKEA. I can't remember. Been like a year. Like 6 months.
IKEA is normally a good shout regardless, I think.
You just want like the mesh back so you don't sweat. Okay, it like breathes, And then you want a headrest for good posture. And then you want good lower back support. And then you sort it. They're the only things that are important in a chair. Or a Runescape gaming chair.
I don't think we were going to be advertising gaming chairs on this stream, but who knows? Who knows with these Q&As? So we'll do 3 more questions, and then we'll do the player created content. So the next question is from WikiWand. With the true endgame being pet collecting, of course, will there be a pet from the tombs, and what concepts would go into making it?
There will be a pet. Concepts. Desert. Desert things.
Sand.
Pyramid things.
Sandy desert things.
All sand.
Sand pet confirmed. You heard it here first.
If anything, I'd want a cactus, like the pet rock, but just cactus. That's all I want. Make it happen, guys, please.
Anyway, next question.
You don't like my cactus idea, Arcane?
Next question.
The next one is from Wild Parsnips. There don't seem to be any rewards for the new raid on the no, we're going to get rid of that one because we've already asked it. AKA Crumble, are there any plans on making the Temekan usable in PvP?
It's also the wand again, so there's potential to make the wand usable in PvP, but it would need to be changed.
Cool. Right, and we will go for one more production team. Let's go for number 7 on the sheet. From SM Profit. Is the new raid a safe death for hardcores like Chambers of Zurich?
No. You die.
I still
There you
don't
go.
know why Chambers of Zurich is safe. It baffles me to this day.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple of people that agree with you, Kirby. But not sure why that one is the outlier, but hey ho, it is what it is. So we will before we
the case, but, like, because changing it now would kind of be really unfair to all the current hardcores when everyone else got the free deaths before them. But why was it like that initially?
Cool. We are going to go on to the player creation showcase before we go through the announcements again and wrap up stream. So, first off, we have I cannot unsee the Vampire Slayer helm looking like Zurich from Toy Story. Not something that the player created, but I like the look of this, and now I can't unsee it, and you all have to suffer with me. So, there you go.
I mean,
It's a
the
pretty
rest
good
of
fit.
the outfit looks the same anyway, so it looks exactly like a one-on-one creation.
This is peak Fashionscape. No one could
This
prove
is. This is. I want to see more of this top tier Fashionscape. The next play create content is OSRS mobile inspired art of my character. Love this cool little pixel art, man. You guys are so good at the pixel art. I love it. Love it.
It's really cute.
It looks so cute.
I love the fact it's like popping out of the phone or the tablet.
Reminds me of
Yeah.
Shades of, not Shades of Morton. What's the temple trekking? There we go. That mini game. The small like crunch down bit of road. I like it a lot actually.
Why are they maging? What are they maging? What's the story?
Yeah, give us. I want to see some more panels to this. I want a full comic. Dark Lord 987. You heard it here first. Make sure you get some more panels up on this, please. We need to know. I see someone putting Habbo Hotel collab confirmed. Is giving me that vibe. Yeah. The next one we have from Dolphin in a Top Hat. Again, another great name. Got my first fire cape not too long ago and made this to celebrate. I can just hear the music. That's all I can hear looking at this.
That is so
Such a
awesome.
good game.
Yeah. This is a great collab. Very, very good. The next one from Shaku, has been featured a couple of times here. Always love their art. Is quest number 150, A Kingdom Divided. Very, very cool. Really,
Love the
really like
style.
it. Yeah, the art style is so cool. And the last one is from Ton of Apples. My girlfriend drew me this as inspiration to get my Slayer level up. Thought you guys might like it too. I can see Kirby's already loving the pun in there.
I'm done. I'm done.
Well, on that note, we will go back through the announcements and wrap up stream. So, want to know what's cracking with the game update? Then use it had to be done. It had to be done.
The stream again. I'll do it.
Yeah, use exclamation mark game update if you're excited for Old School's next raid. Jump into one of our beta worlds and test out the rewards for Tombs of Amascut before its launch. Once you've tested them, let us know what you think of the new equipment. You can get all the info with exclamation mark game update. Deadman Reborn is nearly upon us. Since the Summer Summit announcement, we've gathered your questions and feedback. Check out the answers and changes in the revised blog with exclamation mark Deadman. And if you want to get excited for the rest of the upcoming content coming to Old School, then check out our Summer Summit, the answer to the lack of Runefest we've had lately. So you can catch up on all the keynotes and more with exclamation mark Summer Summit. And what better way to follow up the Summer Summit than with a juicy summer sale? You can enjoy all the forthcoming content we just announced by joining our Premier Club, on sale from the 16th of August, which I believe is Monday. If you didn't already know, Premier Club offers our best value yearly membership package, giving you access to Deadman Mode, Leagues, Group Iron Man, and more. You can purchase the Bumper Gold package until September 14th, so grab it while you can. And finally, you can also use exclamation mark Prime to get 7 days of membership when you link your RuneScape and Prime gaming accounts. This offer is active until the 24th of August, so you've got just over 2 weeks left, so don't miss out. Cool. I want to say a big thank you to my guests, Mod Arcane, Mod Kirby, Mod Grimoire, and behind the chat we had Mod Druid and Mod Spear, and all the mods in chat, and all of you for watching. Is there any final words from any of you?
I am rapidly trying to find a nice picture of my dog to put on Twitter.
Well,
I
you
had
know
one
where to
thing.
go
If
after.
you did, sorry.
Oh, go on, okay.
If you have any like feedback that you want more of like a discussion, like a back and forth with me, feel free to tweet me at JackXArcane. You can also message me on Discord. My Twitter DMs are also open. No, I can't help with your account. But if you've got any ideas in terms of like raid rewards or specifically maybe around the harmonized staff, you want to see where it could potentially go, I'm always up for a chat.
Likewise, if you have any questions about how the internship works, I'm happy to chat to people about that.
Yes, if you're not following any of these fantastic mods on stream, make sure you go to Twitter and follow them all. And straight after this, you should be going to Kirby's feed anyway to see a great picture of a doggo. So I don't know what you're doing here. Get out of here, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.